Welcome to Ping 24 Updates, where you get the most important news and stories from around the world every day. Subscribe my channel and click the bell icon to stay informed. The world holds its breath as sirens wail across Tel Aviv, a sound now tragically familiar. Rockets streak through the night, intercepted by the Iron Dome. This is the brutal reality of the Gaza crisis, August 2025. Headlines scream of conflict and rising casualties, but for many, this is not just news, it's personal. In the Philippines, families anxiously await messages from loved ones working in Israel. These overseas Filipino workers, caregivers, hotel staff, farmhands, are now caught in the crossfire. Their stories are woven into this international crisis, a human element often lost in the headlines. The tension is felt not just in Israeli bomb shelters but in Manila's living rooms. Every alert brings fear. Did the rocket land? Is my family safe? The conflict is on their screens, but their loved ones are on the ground. This is the modern face of global interconnectedness, a regional war with deeply personal worldwide impact. This essay explores that connection, the difficult choices facing Filipino workers, and the diplomatic tightrope their government must walk. It's a story of loyalty, duty, and economic necessity clashing with the instinct for survival. How does a nation protect its citizens abroad when they're caught in another country's war? Our world is more connected than ever. A decision in one capital sends shockwaves across continents. For the Philippines, the Israel-Gaza conflict is not distant. It directly affects tens of thousands of its citizens. With millions of Filipinos working abroad, they are the backbone of the national economy. Around 30,000 are in Israel, not as soldiers but as caregivers, helpers, and workers. When sirens sound in Israel, the anxiety is felt just as strongly in the Philippines. The Philippine government is not a bystander. It must protect its people and navigate Middle Eastern politics with care. This crisis tests Manila's balance between diplomatic relations and the welfare of its citizens. Every statement and action is scrutinized as the conflict becomes a Philippine concern. The story of Filipino workers in Israel is a microcosm of our interconnected world. Labor migration creates deep ties between nations, which become complex in times of war. The economic needs of one country are met by the workforce of another, forging a shared destiny. When violence threatens that destiny, the response must be shared. The safety of a Filipino caregiver in Tel Aviv is a matter of national importance in Manila. As the conflict escalated, the Philippines had to act. On August 25, 2025, the Department of Foreign Affairs issued a clear, urgent plea: Israel must agree to a ceasefire. This was more than politics. It was about protecting 30,000 lives. The DFA's statement called for peace and highlighted the rising civilian casualties and humanitarian needs, especially in Gaza. The Philippines' priority was its workers' safety, but it also acknowledged the suffering on all sides. This was a significant diplomatic move, positioning the Philippines as a voice for de-escalation. By addressing Israel directly, the government showed its commitment to its people above all else. The statement was firm but avoided taking sides, focusing on protecting human life. Manila's plea joined a global chorus for restraint and diplomacy. The consequences of this conflict were felt in homes across the Philippines and the world. The call for a ceasefire was a plea to prioritize humanity over hostility. It was the official voice of a nation holding its breath for its sons and daughters abroad. The world was watching, and so were thousands of Filipino families. In crisis, information is a lifeline. The Philippine government uses a 4-level alert system to protect overseas workers. Level 3, voluntary repatriation, signals real danger and urges Filipinos to leave, with government support. In response to the Gaza crisis, the DFA raised Israel's alert to Level 3, and did the same for Iran, anticipating wider regional risk. Embassies and consulates mobilized, compiling lists, arranging logistics, and coordinating with host governments. For Filipino workers, the choice was clear: stay or go home, with official help if they chose to leave. Level 3 is a stark warning but respects workers' autonomy. It's not a mandatory evacuation but a strong advisory. The situation is dangerous and we advise you to leave. The government promises to help every step of the way. This system empowers individuals while acknowledging the complexities of their lives abroad. Many workers resist mandatory evacuation, not wanting to abandon jobs and lives. Level 3 offers a middle ground, serious warning but personal choice. It's a system born from decades of experience protecting a global workforce. The message: if you decide to go, we're here to help. For many, the decision is agonizing. The government's role is to make sure no one faces it alone. When Alert Level 3 is declared, the Philippine government's promise becomes action. The embassy in Tel Aviv becomes a command center, staff working around the clock to contact leaders, register those who want to leave, and offer reassurance. Repatriation is more than booking flights. It means chartering planes, coordinating with Israeli authorities, and providing financial aid. Hundreds of Filipino workers took the offer, arriving at Ben Gurion Airport with relief and sadness. In Manila, support continues. Temporary accommodation, financial aid, and counseling help them readjust. The government's comprehensive program shows a serious duty of care. For those who came home, it was proof they were not forgotten. Tearful reunions at the airport became a powerful testament to the government's commitment. The message is clear: wherever you are, if you're in danger, your country will bring you home. For many, this support made all the difference. Despite the danger and the offer of a flight home, most of the 30,000 Filipino workers in Israel chose to stay. Why? The answer is complex, woven from duty, loyalty, and deep personal connection. For many, especially caregivers, their job is more than income, it's a relationship. Years spent caring for elderly Israelis create bonds like family. Leaving during crisis feels like abandonment, a betrayal of trust. Caregivers often call their employers Lola or Lolo, sharing meals and holidays. When sirens blare, their instinct is to protect their wards, not themselves. Their sense of responsibility is profound. Leaving could mean their patient goes without care. This emotional and ethical dilemma weighs heavily. For many, staying is a decision to honor that bond. It's a powerful example of malasakit, deep compassion and concern for others. Loyalty, not just safety, guides their choice. Beyond emotional bonds, economic realities keep Filipino workers in Israel. The salaries they earn are often many times higher than what's possible at home. This income supports families, children's education, parents' medical bills, building a home. Leaving means cutting off this vital support. Many are sole breadwinners. The future of entire families rests on their shoulders. The fear of returning jobless is greater than the fear of rockets. Economic pressure creates golden handcuffs. Opportunities too good to leave, even in danger. Workers feel duty-bound to make sacrifices worthwhile. Many believe the conflict will pass, as it has before. They trust in Israel's civil defense systems and weigh short-term risk against long-term benefit. Staying is a calculated choice. Family duty and economic need outweigh fear. It's a decision shaped by hope, experience, and necessity. Amid crisis, Israel recognized the vital role and vulnerability of its foreign workers, especially Filipinos. Authorities ensured these workers were included in the civil defense network, not just out of goodwill, but necessity. Access to information was critical. Alerts via mobile apps, TV, and radio were made accessible to foreign workers. Community leaders and employers explained safety procedures and shelter locations. Israeli law mandates reinforced safe rooms in new homes. Public shelters are widely available. Employers were obligated to ensure caregivers' safety, often guiding them to shelters. Stories emerged of Israeli families and Filipino caregivers huddling together in safe rooms. This shared experience strengthened their bonds. Israel's official support was a key factor in many workers' decision to stay. With repatriation offered by the Philippines and protection by Israel, workers had a real choice. They weighed risks, knowing safety nets existed on both sides. The story of Filipino workers in Israel during the Gaza crisis is one of resilience and courage. The Philippine government acted decisively, balancing diplomacy and protection. Alert Level 3 and repatriation efforts showed a nation's commitment to its people. Yet, the most profound story is the choice to stay, rooted in duty, loyalty, and economic necessity. Caregivers who refuse to leave their wards, workers supporting families back home, they are the heart of this narrative. Their actions highlight the strength of the human spirit, compassion over self-preservation, duty over comfort. This crisis teaches us that global conflicts are never isolated. The ripples of war travel through labor migration, family ties, and economic dependence. The safety of a caregiver in Tel Aviv is linked to a student's future in Cebu. This crisis forces us to see the human faces behind the headlines. As the dust settles, we're left with questions. How can nations better protect migrant workers? How do we balance economic needs with safety? In their resilience, we find a powerful reminder of the enduring strength of the human spirit.